Have you ever wanted to visit places you physically couldn't visit, or hang out with one of your friends without physically being in the same room as them? Well, you technically can with the technique called dream walking. What if I were to tell you that if you learn to quiet your mind and truly meditate, you can manipulate your reality just enough to alter your state of being to astral travel? Similar to astral projection and lucid dreaming, dream walkers are people that can consciously enter someone else's dreams. And in this video, I'll be sharing an interview that I did with a dream walker named T.
So T, I am very excited to meet with you today to talk about dream work, astral projection, and all different things spirituality. So first, tell me if you've ever dream walked before.
I have.
Dream walking is about exploring otherworldly realms in a dreamlike state, while remote viewing is about obtaining real-world information through psychic means while awake. Specifically, remote viewing is the practice of using ESP, extrasensory perception, to gather information about distant and unseen targets without using the normal five senses. I'll also be referring to the Sean Ryan Show, episode 95 with Joe Monaco, who worked as a remote viewer for the CIA's Project Stargate.
I believe this may be the longest introduction I've ever done. Bear with me here.
Okay.
Joe McMonagle, you spent over 12 years as an Army intelligence officer in Vietnam and Southeast Asia. You've survived 3 assassination attempts. Army Intel performed a fake funeral on you. You survived over a decade in a job that has a 20-month life expectancy. After your field service, you were tapped for a highly classified black project connected with the development of the first remote viewing program for the United States Intelligence Service called Grill Flame, later renamed Stargate. You have provided time-sensitive and actionable intelligence for the CIA, the DIA, the NSA, the FBI, DEA, NRO, National Reconnaissance Office, NASA, U.S. Special Operations Units, Joint Chief of Staff, the National Security Council, and the White House, among other agencies that we can't even bring up. Many call you a psychic spy, but you are remote viewer number 001 for the United States.
Like always, this video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Do not try this if you do not know what you are doing. And later on in this video, I will be discussing the dangers of astral travel. I do not need anybody getting snatched up and like Erin Valenti.
What a shock. But I'm glad that they found her.
But for now, let's talk about how the media skillfully conveys different ways of showing us the truth without telling us the truth. Do you remember when you were a kid and you used to watch SpongeBob SquarePants, and there was an episode of SpongeBob being able to go into Gary's dreams, Squidward's dreams, everyone's dreams? Well, that's an example of dream walking.
Ever since I was a kid, I remember watching a SpongeBob episode about how Patrick and SpongeBob were going into Sandy's dreams, Squidward's dreams, and then there's this whole concept with Inception, and now recently Doctor Strange. So I wanted to ask you, are these, I guess, portrayed correctly? Does the media portray dream walking in a sense where you are familiar with it?
Well, after Doctor Strange came out, I got so many comments freaking out about my dream walking and stuff. They're like, "Oh my gosh, you're gonna die." It's like, it's not like that. It's not as dangerous as they make it seem, I guess. You're not gonna ruin the universe by dream walking. You are just projecting your consciousness from your own dream into someone else's dream. And the only bad thing that could happen is like I said, someone's guides could come and be like, "Get out," or you could walk into a nightmare. You don't really know what they're dreaming about, which is why I think that consent with dream walking is you should warn the person that you're gonna walk into their dreams, because you don't know what you're gonna find out about that person.
I remember watching that as a kid and thinking to myself how cool it would be to walk into one of my friend's dreams, not knowing until I grew up and started my own spiritual journey that that actually exists. There are people out there that can consciously enter other people's dreams and astral project. All of that is real. I actually talked more about that in my last YouTube video, how Nickelodeon programmed our minds. So if you didn't see that video and you want more conscious content like this, be sure to like this video and subscribe. Dream walking, lucid dreaming, astral projection, and remote viewing are all interconnected yet separate experiences. Astral projection is a specific form of outer body experience, also known as OBE, which is when an individual perceives their consciousness or spirit leaving their physical body and traveling to other locations or dimensions, commonly referred to as the astral plane. People that can astral project often do this through a meditative state using relaxation techniques or spiritual practices. The experience can vary widely, from feeling as if you're floating above your body to complex interactions with different entities or dimensional beings in the astral realm. Astral projection is actually more common than you think, and I've actually astral projected during a deep meditation and through hypnosis. Unlike astral projection and dream walking, lucid dreaming typically occurs entirely within the dreamer's mind and doesn't involve the perception of leaving the physical body. In a lucid dream, the dreamer can consciously manipulate their dream, such as narrating the story and the environment, which is different from astral projection and dream walking. Compared to astral projection and lucid dreaming, dream walking is the ability to explore and travel realms beyond this physical world in a dreamlike state. It is very difficult to do, and the average person cannot do it because it involves consciously leaving your body and navigating through different planes of existence or interacting with other dimensional beings or energies. While dream walking, remote viewing, astral projection, and lucid dreaming share some similarities, such as an altered state of consciousness and the exploration of inner realms, they involve different levels of awareness, experiences, and techniques for achieving them. I wanted to share a TikTok video that found me on my TikTok For You page, and it's about how two complete strangers consciously shared the same dream together and then found each other in real life.
Honestly, I don't know how else to give this update, but the girl from my dream found me in real life. So I had a dream, if you don't know what I'm talking about. I had a dream. I posted a video about it. I was reluctant to post the video because I didn't really want to seem crazy, but I posted a video telling the story about how I had a dream. Another person in the dream realized that I wasn't just a character in her dream, but I was in fact a person having my own dream experience, and we were sharing this dream together. If you've been on TikTok for a while, you might remember the trend where people were like, ask the characters in your dreams the date or the time or something like that. I don't do that. I don't recommend that people do that, and I've been vocal about it since that trend was a thing. When the girl in my dream asked me the date and the time, I'm like, why would I know the time? I'm asleep. But I gave her a date, which I didn't realize was the wrong date until I woke up. But that's how we kind of realized that she wasn't going to have the dream until a later date. So I decided, I'm like, well, you must be on TikTok, because like to know to ask me that. Weeks went by, I didn't post the video, and then I got some balls and just posted. I was like, whatever, what can I lose? I mean, people might call me crazy. People always call me crazy. It doesn't matter. I got tagged in a video this morning of a girl claiming to have had that same dream and remembers like that conversation. I don't know if I mentioned it in the first video, but I definitely said it in the second video about the dream, that I wasn't given all the details because I wanted to be able to compare notes. I didn't want somebody to just tell me, oh yeah, I had this dream, and I would know if like they were bull. If you think about it, it's a dream. Anything can happen in a dream. She came with the details. She mentioned things in her video that I didn't even mention in mine. Like she mentioned things I'd only ever told my partner. So nobody knew these details. She knew these details. We're in contact now. We're trying to figure out what it means. If anything, I'm sure it means something. We just don't know what it means yet. I don't know where to go from here. I don't think she knows where to go from here, but I guess I'll keep y'all updated.
I'm pretty sure the person that made that video is a dream walker and walked into that person's dream, because they weren't just a regular dream character. And this is very dangerous because if people dream walk into your dreams, they can mess with your subconscious mind and essentially manipulate your reality. She most likely dream walked into that dream without even knowing it, and that's the scariest part.
Have you ever encountered anything negative or spooky while dream walking, or anything paranormal?
Not necessarily dream walking because, well, I have protections up. The first time I ever dream walked, I went into my friend's dream, who I had permission to do so. I have had some like spooky, or I guess I wouldn't call them spooky, I'd call them like scary experiences with someone actually dream walked into my dream one time and was messing with my dream. So I followed them back into their dream afterwards and was like, don't come into my dream, like, what are you doing? Thankfully, that hasn't happened since, but that was definitely interesting. The only other scary thing, I guess, is other people's like spirit guides or like protectors. Is sometimes if you go into their dream, their protectors will come to you and be like, "Why are you here? What are you doing? Get out!"
What? Really?
So when I dream walk, well, first off, I like figure out who I'm dream walking to. I let them know, and then I make sure that they've been asleep for a couple hours at least, because you have to be in the REM stages to like dream and stuff. So it's important that the other person has been sleeping and has the ability to be in a deep enough sleep to be dreaming in the first place. And then it's kind of the same as my astral projection ritual. I lay down in my bed because I want to be comfy, and I really just let my like body fall asleep, let my mind go blank, and then I really think about the other person, where they are, and like what they could possibly be dreaming of. And then sometimes it happens, sometimes not. Like they might not be dreaming, you might not have as strong of a connection as you need to be. It takes like so much mental strength to do it. It's like doing math. Like it's the same mental power. Like it takes the same brain power to do like calculus as it does to dream walk. Like it is a long process to get into someone's dream, and then once you're there, it's a matter of staying there. And then half the time they aren't aware, because usually when you're dreaming, you're unconscious. So even if you do talk to them, I've noticed that you really have to like get in their face and like say something like over and over and over, like yell it at them to get them to hear what you're saying, because they're just like conscious. Like they will just stare like past you or through you. Like they don't usually react.
In episode 95 of The Sean Ryan Show, Joe Monaco similarly shares the same thing, and how it requires a lot of mental focus to have an outer body experience.
Later been trained on how to control an out-of-body experience. Am I
Yes,
correct?
I was trained by Robert Monroe, who actually wrote the book on out-of-body, Journeys Out of the Body by Robert Monroe. He actually brought it to the public forefront. I still have spontaneous out of bodies every now and then. There's a way to initiate them. Actually, since I haven't done since I did a couple targets for Department of Defense. What they did is they actually came out and hired Bob Monroe to teach me how to initiate control my out of bodies. They wanted to see if intelligence could be collected that way. That would be even better than remote viewing. What I did for many, many months, I would get up early on Friday morning, and then Friday, all day Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I would work with Bob Monroe in his lab, just doing exercises where he was teaching me how to initiate an out-of-body and control it. Hard work, really difficult. Not so much initiating them, but controlling them is.
How do you initiate that?
You lay in a certain position and you try to generate a repetitive vibration that starts at your feet. It like runs up your body to the top of your head and back down to your feet. Most people, when they get this, get uncomfortable and they move around and it stops. If you generate it and it runs up to the head and down to the feet, you can keep it going. You can energize it. You can put more energy behind it to the point that you eventually separate from your body, roll out of your body so that you're looking down at your body, or you pass through a wall and you're outside floating, like in some suspended state of disbelief. It's as real as you and I are sitting here talking when you're out of body. And completely out of body. If you're not generating a fear of it, or you're not falling victim to being afraid of what might happen, that sort of thing.
So you need to be in full confidence.
Yes.
I understand how some individuals might reject this information because it's not mainstream, but I want you to understand how important it is to be conscious. And to an extent, this information could be life-altering or life-threatening if you do not know what you're doing and you decide to do this.
A lot of people would watch Doctor Strange, Inception, SpongeBob, all of these different shows and movies, but they, at the end of the day, they just think, oh, it's just a show and a movie, when in reality, it's based off of real spiritual practices, you know?
When I was a child, growing up in San Francisco area, I used to visit the Japanese tea garden and to visit the carp swimming just beneath the lily pads in a two-dimensional pond. I used to spend hours looking at them. They would swim forward, backward, left and right. Their eyes were to the side, and they couldn't see me. I was in the third dimension. I was in hyperspace. They were totally unaware that there was a universe beyond their pond. And then I thought, well, what happens if I reach down and grab one of the fish, lift the fish up? Maybe that fish was a scientist, and the scientist would say, bah, humbug, science fiction, there's no world of up. Up does not exist. Well, I would grab this scientist, lift them up in the world of up, hyperspace, the third dimension. What would he see? He would see beings breathing without water, a new law of biology. Beings moving without fins, a new law of physics. And then I would put the fish back into the pond. What kind of stories would he tell? Well, today we physicists believe, we cannot prove it yet, but we are the fish.
Can you imagine being so conscious that you can maneuver around the multiverse? There are individuals in our reality that truly understand we are spiritual beings living a temporary human experience. And if you believe it, it may just be possible. So don't forget to make the conscious effort every single day to be a little bit more self-aware, because your future self will thank you for the decisions you've made in this present moment. Thank you for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
I'm doing this for we the people of this planet.